Welcome, everybody. Bernie 2016 TV, a network for the 99. DC with you here, Feel the Burn TV. And we're joining you for an extension of Weekends with Bernie on a Monday fundraising reception in Chicago. Yes, because we got some comments going on in the YouTube chat, and we're gonna stay on top of those. And we are obviously looking at the Twitter for Feel the Burn and Bernie 2016. I think we're also watching Fight for Dyett, and we are Dyett. And to tell you the truth, I need to get into that and find out exactly what's going on. Richard, do you know anything? Do you know what's going on with Walter H. Dyett High School? And there's a hunger strike apparently being planned. Are you aware of it? What's the story?
I'm picking it up as fast as you are.
Well, you know, this is the beauty of social media and getting information out quickly to people, and we're gonna try to, if you know what's going on in that with that hashtag and what issue we need to be aware of here on the channel, let us know. And we've got some we have some tape now and some information about the Dyett High School. There is a hunger strike being planned. And it's all about climate change and the crucial nature of climate change. And it has to do with a high school that is trying to become a leader in green technology. And they want to, and so if we have that tape, I'd like to know a little bit more about what's happening in Dyett, at Dyett. And so let's play that.
What do we want? Dyett! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 What do we...
Yeah, and just to expand a bit about what's going on in Dyett.
Yes, Richard, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let us know what's happening exactly.
Yeah, basically what we have is Rahm Emanuel, who's I believe the mayor there. I'm not sure if that's exactly his title, but he's I guess a little bit about where Dyett is. Dyett High School is a school in Bronzeville in the south side of Chicago. It's a historically black neighborhood in the early teens and 20s. Black people escaping the segregation in the South and other oppression down there came to start sort of a black metropolis. There's kind of how they described it. And there's a victory monument there celebrating African American contributions to the Allied victory in World War I. It's a very historical place. And Dyett High School is the last public school in Bronzeville. Public high school in Bronzeville. Rahm Emanuel's been pushing for privatization and charter schools.
Aha.
Yes, which have had mixed success in the area, to put it as nicely as it can. And the community is trying to bring attention to the fact that they've been making their own improvements without having to go private or to take that route. And they want to maintain the community aspect of what they're doing, and part of that is looking towards the future. And in an effort to help save the public school, one of the plans that they put forward was to have it be a revolutionarily green school, one of the best in the area, and possibly an example for the nation as far as how you can take although it was struggling in the past, they've made a lot of improvements, but take a moderate or improving school and make it even better, but while keeping its ties to the community without privatizing.
And now it's been pulled off the agenda. Is that part of the issue, that there was a deadline, I believe, on August 26th, and now it's been pulled off the agenda as to whether or not the funding is going to happen for the expansion or the new aspect of the high school?
Yes, the decision, I believe, is turning it into a charter school. That what may actually end up happening is students in that area may not be able to attend the school that's in their area, which right. For any community, you can imagine if you had a high school down the road and you want to send your kids there, but they're like, and they tell you, well, no, it's been privatized, and this isn't for your community exclusively anymore. That could be, it could feel exclusionary in a way that seems peculiar in a historically black area, and it brings up a lot of sore parts of the past.
Well, it's pretty serious if we're talking about a hunger strike, whether or not some public funding for educating our kids and looking forward, progressing, being being the leader in this world on issues of climate and green technology. And now they're also, I believe, they're going up against a sports school and an arts school for funding, both, I guess, of which are private or some type of charter schools.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
It would be turned into either some sort of kind of a tech facility or a sports facility.
Recap what's going on at this high school. I think
I was just going to say, so just a quick thing on what's going on at Dyett is Rahm Emanuel is he's been trying to close down a lot of the public schools, and we're just going to need a quick little break, I believe, in order to get them on the phone tech-wise. So if we can just get everybody to stick with us through the break, we'll have Bob George on the line with us to help give us some more details.
Give us some more clarity. This is something that just started coming across today. This is it's a critical time apparently for this action, and the the 26th is a deadline for apparently there's some money that could possibly go to a couple of private schools for. I'm not saying they're bad programs in sports and in art, but our public schools really need some help, and especially in some of the neighborhoods in Chicago and other metropolitan areas. And we do now have Bob George on the line, calling from the Chicago area. Bob, is that correct? Is Dyett High School? It's in the Chicago area.
Yes, Walter H. Dyett High School is in the historic Brownsville neighborhood of Chicago. It is an area that has been and continues to be one of the centers of black culture in the city.
And there's a bit of a deadline happening in the legislature, and there's some critical funds involved, and there's a passion for making sure that those funds go in a direction that are leading us forward, as opposed to just keeping us where we are. So tell us a little about your issue and what exactly, why is there a hunger strike at Dyett High School?
Well, there's a hunger strike at Dyett High School because for the last 6-7 years, the city has and the school board has acted disingenuously and to destabilize Dyett High School. In 2008, Dyett High School was recognized for its 30% increase in the graduation rate of its students by Arnie Duncan and Mayor Daley. In 2009, it was recognized for a 40% decrease in the out-of-school suspensions because of a very active community program that changed the way the students viewed the school, and violence was reduced. 2 years after that, the city announced that it was going to phase out Dyett High School. And from that moment on, the community has fought to keep it. Recently, about 7-8 months ago, after a civil disobedience action in which 11 of us chained ourselves to the statue of George Washington outside of the mayor's office, the school district changed its mind and said that Dyett could stay open, and then said, parenthetically, well, but everybody's going to have to, there's going to have to be a bid, and people are going to have to reply to. So the Dyett community responded and turned in a proposal, the only proposal that was turned in that is sound academically, that was supported by the community. There are two other proposals, one of which is a proposal from a group that is political favorites of the mayor's. And we're afraid because recently a public hearing that was supposed to be held was canceled. The alderman for this ward is not supporting the Dyett Global Leadership in Green Technology proposal that was done by the community with a coalition of 14 different groups, including major contributions from education departments at the University of Illinois, Chicago. The alderman has said he will not approve the Dyett Global Leadership in Green Technology program, apparently because he doesn't like one of the groups in the coalition. Well, that group, the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, has struggled with the alderman because the alderman has not really done things in the best interest of the community. So the hunger strike is now because we're afraid that the kind of politics which is you award to your buddies and your friends the spoils of your political victory will happen, and the school that is an alternative high school right now, which is a private company, will become the pick of this RFP process, even though their proposal is not supported by the community and is not academically sound. But more importantly, this alternative high school has a 5% graduation rate. So a school that is not working now.
Compared to how much? What's Dyett?
Well, Dyett High School is not. Dyett High School has been phased out. There were only 13 students in the high school this year.
Oh, I see.
So you can't compare it to that, but
right.
You can compare it to the level 1 school that the people that designed Dyett High School's Dyett Global Leadership in Green Technology.
Same system, yeah.
They have a level 1 high school that they designed that is currently operating in Chicago highly successfully. So, and the coalition isn't trying to run the school. We want the Chicago Public Schools to run it. We believe that there should be a neighborhood, open enrollment, community-involved school for the students of this community. Right now, with that officially closed, there is not a school that the students in this community can go to. And one of our parents who's on strike, her daughter is next year, a year from now, is going to have to go to high school. And her mother's checked it out. She'll have to go 16 miles, 2 buses and a train to go to high school.
Wow.
And so she's literally putting her life in danger by going on a hunger strike. She's not eating. This is her first day because she does not want her daughter's life to be lost. And this is what we're speaking about when we talk about Black Lives Matter. These Black lives are not mattering to this city, and unless they do, these people are going to stay on strike.
Well,
Global Leadership in Green Technology High School needs to be a reality.
It just seems like in every level of government or the institution of government, this is occurring, and that Black lives don't seem to matter, and it's actions like this with being politicians being controlled by a handful of special interests. I know it was a very close race with Chewy and Emmanuel and Ram, and they were saying earlier in the chat that really this is what you get when you have someone whose interests are privatizing the system, and which is is he that of a conservative of a mayor? I mean, he's a Democrat, is he not? He's a Democrat.
Yes, but there are Democrats and there are Democrats, and right now, it probably more importantly than him being a Democrat is a commitment to a portfolio school district, which means that literally you have only a small portion of your schools left that are public schools. The one that is most well known is New Orleans, which has no public schools left, all charter and contract schools.
New Orleans has no public schools left.
No.
Wow. And four monuments to the Confederacy will remain, just so we all are clear.
Right.
Wow. That's go ahead.
Walter H. Dyett taught here in Chicago for 30 years, and he taught arts and music. And some of the students that he had is Nat King Cole, Dinah Washington, Red Fox, and Bo Diddley. Those are just some. His legacy is one that needs to stay. When the mayor and the school board, which is unelected, and this is another major issue, if you have an unelected school board, you basically have taxation without representation. Okay? Sure. The mayor appoints everybody.
Oh, really? Wow.
And this unelected school board closed 50 schools. 46 of those schools were majority black. And those schools no longer exist. And we have a grandmother who's on strike who had 9 children, 9 grandchildren. And one of those schools, it has devastated that community. It has caused it to be a education desert, okay? And her children had to go to now an overcrowded school. That was a well-performing school, granted. But they had 45 children in the kindergarten class to start out. They had to eat their food in the gym because they had to use the cafeteria for classroom space. This isn't right. That wouldn't happen in the white community. When the white community in Lincoln Park said they didn't want to have a Noble Charter School, it took 2 months, and the Noble Charter School didn't exist. Okay, they never authorized it. We have been struggling for 4 years, extremely actively to keep this open enrollment, high-quality school in the community.
Well, we're gonna keep keep post on this story. We're gonna keep up on this, watch this space, as they say. We're gonna stay on to Bob. I appreciate you talking to us today, Bob George. What is it? What organization are you with, sir?
I'm part of the coalition to revitalize Dyett High School and the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization. I'd like to give you 3 hashtags.
Yes,
Fight
please.
for Dyett. And so hashtag Fight for Dyett. DYETT is how you spell Dyett. Hashtag Dyett, GLGT, which stands for Global Leadership Green Technology. And hashtag We Are Dyett. All the news about the hunger strike and the other work that's being done will be on those hashtags day in, day out.
Very good. Well, we will.
And those that want to contact the leadership for this, it's the campaign to save Dyett is 773-548-7500.
Desperate measures for desperate times, my friend.
Precisely. That's exactly what was said by the mother, that her daughter may have to go 16 miles to go to school. She's not going to stand for it. She said today those exact words.
Wow. All right. Bob, I thank you. I thank you for joining us on Burning 2016 TV. This is the kind of stuff we need to hear about, and we'll see if the mainstream media picks up on this story.